Hello, good afternoon, good evening. Depending on what part of the world you're joining us from, my name is Brenda Unu. I'm super excited to have you here. And hi, Gripe by Grace. Thank you for always joining on time. You make me want to come out every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you see me? Can you hear me clearly? Because today we're going to be reading. I need to be sure that we can hear ourselves. And yes, it's another of those days where I'm on the road again by 6, but nothing is stopping us from doing our program. So tell me if you can see me and you can hear me clearly so that I can keep going. Today, I'm excited. It's been such an exciting month of July for me. Back to back things to just be thankful for. It was my birthday on the 7th, my son's birthday on the 9th, his graduation on the 12th, and then on the 14th we had a physical book reading of my new book. Have you seen it? Yes, that's it in the flesh. If you pre-ordered a copy, you need to reach out to me and get to pick your copy of the book. It's so exciting. Now, I plan to do this sitting down at my desk at home, but well, you know how these things happen. But here we are, all the same. We're going to be reading the book. I hope you are ready. Yes. I'm excited to have you too. So all my followers, Instagram can call all of them. Everybody who is watching, even if you're watching the replay later, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the fact that you stop by every Tuesday at 6 p.m. I do not take this for granted. I love you. I appreciate you. And let's get right into it. So, are you ready? Let's go. I've got to place this phone. If I was at home now, there would be a stand, there would be a holder, everything. But right now, I do not have that. So we're going to improvise. We never take no for an answer. We never make excuses. There's a line in the book that says that if you don't want to do something, you make an excuse. But if you want to do something, you would find a way. Today is one of those days. I'm just coming out from, is it an 8 or 9 hour training, and I'm exhausted, but guess what, the show has got to go on. So here we are, and my latest book is called Just Start It. Well, the do is crossed out. Can you see it? Do you see it? Such a lovely book, such a lovely book. Such a lovely book. And each of the chapters has exercises, the same way we had it in Diary of a Former Lazy Girl. This one is a more comprehensive book. I said it was a sequel to that one, and it has far more. Okay, yeah. So let's start by reading the back of the book. I always like to, when you want to buy a book, the first thing you do is to read the blurb. So let's read the blurb, shall we? Hi, Osira. Thank you for joining. So excited to have you here. I hope I'm audible. God help me. So we're reading the book blurb, which is what is written at the back of the book. Just Start It. How to Get into the Constant State of Execution is a practical guide for overcoming the barriers that prevent you from executing your ideas. Suitable for all, young, old, male and female, this book presents its concepts through engaging stories and reflective exercises after each chapter. It helps you identify and conquer everyday obstacles like procrastination, self-doubt, and imposter syndrome. Through an in-depth self-assessment, you will discover your purpose and learn how to achieve constant execution. You will learn strategies like proper goal setting and ways to turn goals to successful outcomes. Say goodbye to fears and hello to a life of action. We just started. Hi, Frolene. Nice to have you join us. Hi, Adinka. Thank you for joining. So, Brenda Unu, why should you listen to me? Who am I? Are you happening on my life for the first time? I want to tell you a little bit of myself by reading what's on the back of the book. Look at the pretty woman at the back. That's me, right? So, Brenda Unu is a dedicated world changer with a passion for helping others thrive. Through her coaching work in the Women's Growth Academy, she builds and encourages people. She builds houses and fabulous spaces through her work as a certified architect, and she also builds dreams through her writing. In this, her 10th book, Brenda demonstrates her teaching prowess by simplifying otherwise complex concepts. She's married to her best friend, and together they have 4 children. And she lives and works in Lagos, Nigeria. So learn more about her at her website, www.iambrendaunu.com. Hi. So that is the information that you get when you don't buy the book. You just read it on the shelf and put it back. Well, you're not going to put this one back. We're going to go right into the book. So if you have a copy, if you've picked up your copy, if you're at the physical book reading on Sunday, you would have your physical copy with you, and you can join us as we read. So, table of contents, we have chapters 1 to 9, and then there's bonus course for those who bought the freebies. Okay, we'll have freebies today, right? Okay, let's see. So if you listen very carefully, we'll see whether we can give some freebies. Okay, and the freebies will be let me think about it. Okay, let's get right into the reading. I'll start from the preface. Okay, preface. Some people seem to be constantly launching one thing or another, and you often wonder, who are these people? How are they able to achieve these sorts of dreams? How are they able to start and finish a thing to the point where it launches? The truth is, we are all capable of big dreams. I mean, they do say that ideas are a dime a dozen. So that in itself implies that dreams are not the thing lacking. The main thing is turning them into reality. How can one do this? In my previous book, Diary of a Former Lazy Girl, I outlined why you may not be motivated to do much and how you can start dreaming again. Now that you have found your dreams, the next logical step is execution. If you didn't get that book, it is a good idea to search for it and buy it along with this. It is a good foundation for what we shall be teaching in this book. Just Start It is a book that takes you through the steps I personally use to execute all my big and little dreams. These steps have also been tested on hundreds of my coaching clients and friends, and I firmly believe that they will work for you. It is a book of stories, some of which are from the Bible. I am a Christian, and I refer to the Bible as the ultimate source of wisdom for us while here on earth. If you are not a Christian, please come at this book with an open mind and just learn the principles. Because you know why? Life's principles are universal. If you are a Christian though, please ask the Holy Spirit to open your mind as you read this. Like in Diary of a Former Lazy Girl, the prequel, I take you through the steps to unravel why executing on tasks is a problem for you. We discuss the causes and benefits of overcoming these issues, and then give you practical steps to overcome them. Trust me, you will leave this book with your own blueprint for your life, designing your new life as you dream it, being fired up, and having the tools you need to get started immediately. I watched a clip on Instagram in which famous speaker Jack Canfield was having a class. He said, "Here's what separates winners from losers." He raised a $50 bill and asked the audience if anyone wanted it. Most people raised up their hands, and one lady, Debbie, walked up to him and took it. The audience started to laugh, laughing at her audacity. But guess what? He gave it to her. Then he proceeded to use her to teach. He said, and I quote, "Too many times we sit around and we hope and we dream and we pray and we meditate and all of that. These are all good. They are part of the process. But at some point, you've got to get up and take what you want. You've got to take action." This book is designed to push you from your state of waiting for things to happen and getting up to take action. So we will strip you of all the things that hold you back, and we'll get you to move just like Debbie did. Come ready to unlearn, relearn, and just start. All right, let's get to it. Brenda Unu 2024. That was my preface. Now we go to chapter 1. What does it mean to execute? So it starts with a little quote here that says, "Execution is the ability to mesh strategy with reality, align people with goals, and achieve the promised results. And this is from Lawrence Bossidi. If you're with me, please let us know. Let me know in the comments that you can hear me, you can see me, and you are following the reading. I'm not going to read the entire book, don't worry. I'm just going to read some excerpts from it, okay? So chapter 1 is what does it mean to execute? They say that if you cannot explain something to a 5-year-old, then you probably don't understand it enough. Well, they are not always right, but in this instance, they were. The other day I asked my children, there's no 5-year-old at mine anymore. Our baby was 6 years as at the time of writing this book. What does the word execute mean? You won't believe it, but one of them said to kill someone. Ouch. Another asked, is it like an executive? And then the older one said, to carry out a task. Fair enough, they had a fair idea. I chose to explain it to them, and what I said to them is what I will share with you. Like my mentor Jesus, I will be telling you a story to illustrate. Ready? There was a fair at St. Agnes High in the coming month. The girls were so excited. The fair was to be anchored by the SS2 girls who are year 11 students. They would man the stalls and were allowed to sell anything from drinks to food to handmade crafts. Simi and her friends were excited. I just need to finish up my crochet pieces and I will sell some tote bags. Maria said excitedly. I like food, so I'll just make some shawarma. I pray I don't eat it all, Meme said, and they all laughed. I will have a big good stand. I'll make cupcakes and some brownies. They will be so tasty and pretty to look at, bragged Simi. And they started to make plans. They had to register their business name and pay for their stalls. They also had to prepare the actual goods for sale, all except for Meme, who would be making her food on the day of the sale. The girls talked of nothing else but their stands all month. The morning of the fair dawned bright, and the 3 girls met at the drop-off point, the entrance porch of the school building. Simi was happy to see her girls, Maria and Meme, and she hugged them tight. Where are your goods? She asked both of them, seeing as they were empty-handed. Have you dropped them off already at the fairgrounds? No, they both chorused, then looked at each other and laughed. Actually, I pulled out of the fair, shrugged Maria. Despite spending many hours working on my pieces, they just were not ready. Oh, I'm sorry, Simi. The work I had to do on those shawarmas was just too much, so I quit. Besides, no one would miss me. They probably wouldn't have bought from me anyway, quipped Meme. Simi hugged her girls again and dragged them to help her at her stall. All 3 girls had grand plans of showcasing their stuff at the school fair. Which of them executed the dream? Your guess is right. Simi. So, what does it mean to execute? I have a dictionary excerpt here. Excerpt from the dictionary, and says, execution, noun, the carrying out of a plan, order, or course of action. Number 2, the carrying out of a sentence of death on a condemned person. Looking at number 2 now, I guess my children were not wrong. In fact, I now recall that there is a meaning to execute that says to kill somebody. But I digress. Today, we shall be focusing on the number 1 definition, which is the carrying out of a plan, an order, or a course of action. 3 girls had an order from school to show up at the entrepreneurship fair. They had plans for what they would sell, but only one carried out the plan. Many of us are like the other 2 girls, Maria and Meme. We give up too easily when our plans prove tough, and we tell ourselves things like, it doesn't matter. There is always another time. No one will miss me anyway. Is this true? Nope. This is you giving excuses for what is plain laziness. Have you read my last book, Diary of a Lazy Girl? It's a prequel to this and you should totally read it. They say that if you want something bad enough, you will find a way. If you don't, you will make excuses. Why do people make excuses? Why do they procrastinate? Someone wants Okay, I'm sorry. I hope you can hear me now. I had to take care of something. So, someone once told me that her pastor said, and I tell you, it cured me instantly, that procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God owes you a second chance for time wasted. Ouch. Life is short. No one knows the hour, and delayed obedience is disobedience. But when God lays something in your heart, just start it. James 4:17 says, anyone then who knows the right thing to do yet fails to do it is guilty of sin. I will hurry without delay to obey your commands. That is Psalm 119, verse 16, and that's from the NLT version. Now, I am sure you agree with me that you need to execute or get started on those plans quickly too, right? Now let me explain the focus of this book a little more. We have just explained execution and what we need to do. Now this book is poised to teach you how to be in a constant state of execution. What does this even mean? The phrase constant state of execution implies a consistent and ongoing state of taking action, executing tasks, or performing duties without interruptions or breaks. It emphasizes the continuity and consistency of the execution process. It talks about how to maintain a continuous flow of execution, like a steady engine hum. Is that what you want? Then read on. So there are exercises at the back of this book, and I just want to run you through one of the exercises so that you can have an idea of what we're talking about, right? So in this exercise 1, after reading what we have just done about execution, Inan asks you, do you find yourself hesitating whenever you have something to do? If yes, think about why and write down the reasons. Then you have another one that says, what are the factors that help you make or reach decisions? List them. Then what can you do to make decisions faster? Then the next question is, what do you need to do to get into execution mode faster? And that leads us to chapter 2. Do whatever he tells you. Today I'll be reading only chapter 1 and 2, and you're going to have to buy the book to read the rest, okay? Because I'm not giving you my book for free. So chapter 2 starts like this. Ideas are easy. It's the execution of ideas that really separates the sheep from the goats. This is a quote by Sue Grafton. I was speaking with my sister the other day, and she was raving about how she had just experienced her best birthday ever. And it was because of obeying a simple instruction that God laid in her heart. She had been told to create a wish list of all she wanted for her birthday. She did that, sent it to the family chat group, and started bugging us with numerous reminders. Now, she's the last born of our family, so we had basically been rolling our eyes each time and laughing it off. She and I belong to a particular mentorship group together, and one day, after her 18th reminder, I had a brainwave to share the wish list with another lady in that group. The lady saw it, loved it, and had in turn shared it in another group that she and my sister both belonged to. And before you knew it, the wish list had gone quite viral. It ended up being a birthday she would never forget, and it wasn't even a milestone one. People responded. She kept on receiving gifts, cash gifts, physical gifts. She was quite overwhelmed by the show of love. Even her children were amazed because, she doesn't have so many friends normally. And then this was her who had just relocated to a new country, and yet she was receiving love from all over the world on her special day. But as she remarked to me that day, all this happened because I did as he told me to. The next day, there was a wedding reception. There was a wedding celebration in the village of Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples were also invited to the celebration. The wine supply ran out during the festivities, so Jesus' mother told him, "They have no more wine." "Dear woman, that is not our problem," Jesus replied. "My time has not yet come." But the mother told the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Standing nearby were 6 stone water jars used for Jewish ceremonial washing. Each one could hold 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus told the servants, "Fill the jars with water." And when the jars had been filled, he said, "Now, dip some out and take it to the master of ceremonies." So the servants followed his instructions. When the master of ceremonies tasted the water that was now wine, not knowing where it had come from, though of course the servants knew, he called the bridegroom over. A host always serves the best wine first, and then when everyone has had a lot to drink, he brings out the less expensive wine. But you have kept the best wine until now. This miraculous sign at Cana in Galilee was the first time Jesus revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. This is from John chapter 2, verses 1 to 11, and I was reading from the NLT version. Hi. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is this miracle at the wedding in Cana. I used to think about it as just, turning water into wine. That was kind of like making your ordinary into extraordinary. And so I used it as a prayer point a lot. I would say, God should turn all my water into wine. Funny prayer, right? Even with all the wine in the world, you still need water. So why would you turn all your water into wine? But again, I digress. Recently, the Holy Spirit broke down that passage for me to show me that the greatest lesson there was one of obedience to instructions. The mother of Mary requested his help. The mother of Jesus requested his help. He replied, and I'm paraphrasing, "Mommy, leave me, Joe. It's not my time. It is not my concern." And she said, in faith to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now, let's just pause for a while and think about this from an African mom perspective. You go to your child and you say, you know that your child is all special, and you're like, bro. And because if you think about it, for them to have been to the wedding, they may have been close relatives or something, right? Or at least close family friends. And she realized that they were about to be disgraced. Like they had run out of wine. And she came to her son and says, "They've run out of wine." Even her that was asking did not know what she was asking for. She did not know what he could do, but she knew that he could do something, right? So she said, "Son, they've run out of wine." And he's like, "Mom, what business of ours is it? It's not even my time." Right? And without being fazed, she turns to the servants and says, "Do whatever he tells you." There are 2 lessons to this, right? Lesson 1, there is a level of relationship you would have with God that you know that he won't leave you stranded. His mother knew. Hence her statement to the servants. Lesson 2 follows very quickly. It was one thing for her to say this, and quite another for the servants to actually obey. Because let's face it, at that time, Jesus was just one other guy, a carpenter's son, literally. There was nothing fancy about him, nor had he started doing any miracles. So it took another level of faith for those servants to follow instructions, no questions asked. The Bible recorded that they followed his instructions. Are you following the instructions that God gives you? Or are you saying, "What instructions?" Perhaps you are there expecting a loud voice that would say, "Abraham, get up, take your only son and go and sacrifice him to me on the mountain." And this is where you would miss it. God's instructions come daily and in varied ways. It could be a strong nudge to get up and go somewhere, or to place a call to someone, or to tune in to watch a program, or to get on your knees to pray, or to text some person. It could be to make a comment on a post. It could be to switch up that formula in your manufacturing. It could be anything. But you need to be tuned in to actually hear. But I want to urge you today, do whatever he tells you. It may not make sense when the instruction comes. It may seem like the opposite direction from where you want to go. However, you need to trust God. And like Mary, agree in your heart to do whatever he tells you. And no, do it immediately. Have you noticed that sometimes you get a leading from God to do something, and when you delay, you find someone doing the exact same thing and flourishing? Oh my God. Now, you start to wish that were you. Well, it could have been you had you moved when you were told. This has been me so many times. This is why I have such a burden to save people from the pain of missed opportunities, from not executing immediately. Exercise 2. Have you felt the pain of a missed opportunity? Like something you should have started but missed, and now you see that the moment has passed and someone else has started? Write it down. This is therapy for you right now, free therapy. Number 2, what stopped you from taking action in the incident described in number 1? Has this changed? What will you do to change it? Throughout the book, I ask thought-provoking questions like this. As we get on with the book and we start to, deal with some barriers to things that are, stopping you from executing, we start to peel off the layers. I always say that when you know why you do a thing, you can course correct. Many times we struggle with a lot of things and we think, oh, that's just me. That's how I was created. That's how I was born. That's how I am. Those statements are you not agreeing to take ownership or take responsibility for changing yourself. But if you know why you do what you do, you can change. I'll tell you a little story, and this is not from the book anymore. Okay? So, I used to have a very bad case of procrastination, like really bad. And I procrastinated writing an exam for 13 years. Now, can you even beat that? Like every year my father would call me and say, when are you writing this exam? It's not like I didn't have accountability. Like he was literally calling me every year. But I procrastinated this exam for that long. There's something. So I struggled with procrastination. And then I told you about it in the book when I said somebody told me once that, hi, pretty girl. Somebody told me once and said, yes, the book is here. So somebody told me once that procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God owes you a second chance for a missed opportunity. And I was like, good God. You know how you were told you were supposed to do something, right? You didn't do it. And now you're praying and disturbing God. Yeah? So yeah, procrastination is basically you knowing what you need to do and not doing it and postponing it and saying, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And before you know it, your tomorrow becomes a year, 2 years, 3 months, and it just goes on and on. That's procrastination. Okay, thank you, my July baby. I'm so excited to have you on the call. And I said, so I was trying to read the exact words from what I learned here. Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God owes you a second chance for time wasted. Exactly. So I was struggling with procrastination, my people. And I had to think, and I was like, why am I always? I had to dig deep and find out what was the thing that was worrying me. I had to dig deep. And when I dug deeper, I realized what it was. It was a fear, right? It was a fear. It was a fear of, what if I do it and nobody likes it? What if I do it and it's not what I thought it would be? What if I do it and I don't like the outcome? Or, so much. I was overanalyzing. And so here's what I did. You know how they always say people should do it afraid? I think that you should take it one more step further. Do it in trust. Right? Not just do it afraid. Do it in trust. Because why are we afraid? We don't know what the outcome is. But what if you knew? What if you knew the outcome? Remember, the mother of Jesus in the story did not know what the outcome was. What she was asking was. She simply told the guys, do whatever he tells you. So, God is telling you to do something and you're here thinking, what if it doesn't pan out? What if? So, how would you build that faith that allows you to go ahead to just do whatever he tells you? It's simply by knowing what his word says. What is God's promise to you? What did he say to you personally? Now, there's this promise from the word and there's a promise from that you have heard for yourself, right? I mean, Abraham was told he was going to have a son. It wasn't a word from the Bible. It was word he received directly. So everybody receives word. If you think very well, you would have received word from God. Maybe you have not paid attention, and God is always speaking. But that's not even the person matter. I'm just like, God is always speaking, right? So when you have a word and you hold on to that, you would have a trust that can make you move forward without fear. Do you understand it now? You are not moving forward because you are afraid. What if you don't know what if? But what if you knew what if? Would you move forward? Because think about it. Let's think about I mean, there's so many examples in the book. I really want to read the whole book, but I can't. I'm selling it. Okay, let me read one excerpt. Just an excerpt. Okay? And yes, just an excerpt from chapter 3. Chapter 3 says, partial obedience is disobedience. There's a story I wanted to read for you. Just a small story. It says, one of the stories I love is about a plane undergoing turbulence. As usual, at least in Nigeria where I live, during such turbulence, the passengers would be screaming, praying, and shouting, Jesus, Jesus. And there will be all sorts of pandemonium. But in the midst of this, there was this little boy sitting relaxed on his chair and engrossed with his iPad, looking quite unperturbed. The passenger beside him was quite intrigued and had to ask. He tapped him, young man, why are you not worried about the turbulence? I mean, you seem so calm. I tell you this was a child, right? And the child replied, oh, I'm not worried. I trust the pilot. It's my dad in the cockpit, and he has said he will take me home. So I know he will. Wow. What a display of faith like no other. The little boy trusted his father, despite the signs that were obvious to everyone else. He wasn't focused on the signs, but on the promise of his father to take him home. Two things. Jesus says we have to be like little children, otherwise we cannot make heaven. We can't please God. We can't, it's the audacious trust of a child that in the midst of everything else, everybody else was seeing the turbulence, was seeing that, oh my God, we're probably dying. And the boy only was going by the fact that I trust my father. He said he would take me home, and so I'm going home. Do you trust your father? What has God told you he will do that you are second guessing? Sisters, this is not a preaching book. It's a read book. What am I saying? Is a teaching book. Right? I mean, there's some look at this. Look at this part of the book. There's SWOT analysis inside of this book. You see? There are exercises, serious exercises. It's a teaching book. But there's wisdom of the Holy Spirit in this book that would literally change your life. It changed mine as I was writing it. I mean, I can't even say that this is all my wisdom. No. It changed mine as I was writing it. And you know how I am. Once I have learned something, I'm so eager to share it with the world. So I'm sharing it with you to change your life too. We all know that obedience is one of God's love languages, right? I mean, if you're in my WGA community, I say this all the time. Obedience is one of God's love languages. Who knows what the second one is? What's the second love language of God? Who knows? Who can guess? Type it in the chat. All the men in the Bible that were recorded as after God's heart, Abraham, David, Noah, Moses, they were all men of faith who followed instructions. Now, speaking of Moses, he was a great man. He was a man who walked closely with God, a man who communed with God, and he wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, recording the things that God revealed to him, things that happened before his birth. You see? And things that he saw God do in his lifetime with the Israelites. That was Moses, great man. But as close as Moses was to God, it was a case of partial obedience that made him miss entering the famous promised land. Hey! this passage breaks my heart. It was partial obedience. He did not disobey. It was just partial obedience, and that's why the Holy Spirit put this chapter in the book. Partial obedience is disobedience. If you're not going to follow in full, don't follow at all. Just know that you are now on disobedience. Just take you your full chest. You're disobeying, right? So, in Numbers 20, Moses was told to speak to the rock in the desert and bring forth water for Israel. The Lord said to him, take the rod, you and your brother Aaron, assemble the congregation and speak to the rock before their eyes, that it may yield its water. You shall thus bring forth water for them out of the rock, and let the congregation and their beasts drink. In frustration with the people of God, Moses chose to strike the rock instead of speaking to it. And so Moses took the rod from the Lord just as he had commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly before the rock and said to them, listen now, you rebels. Shall we bring forth water for you out of this rock? Then Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod. Water came forth too. It came abundantly, the Bible records, and the congregation and their beasts drank. Now, it is worthy to note that God had actually told Moses to strike the rock in an earlier instance. We are reading Numbers 20 here, but in Exodus 17, God had told Moses to strike the rock. The water will come out. And he did it, and the water came out. But in this instance, that's not what he was told. He was told, you will speak to the rock before their eyes, and it may yield water. But he went and he struck it. So in Exodus 17, Moses obeyed God by striking the rock. But in Numbers 20, he disobeyed God by striking instead of speaking. Now this led God to punish Moses by barring him from entering the promised land. A land he had worked so hard to get the people to. My chest. We may look at God as being a little too harsh, right? Because to us, what's a little modification to the instruction? After all, the rock still produced water, right? God did not shame him now. He did not bring water. He did bring water. Wrong. If you know anything at all about God, you know that he's very intentional. And the Old Testament always prefigured Christ in the New Testament. So the rock represented Christ, who would be struck once for our sins and never again. So the striking of the rock the second time was unnecessary and would have sent confusing signals. So Moses had to be punished, because that wasn't God's message. Now, I leave that part. I just want to give people some buzzwords. Have you been told to start an outreach on Facebook, but because you prefer Instagram, you did it there instead? Boom, partial obedience. Have you been asked to send 50,000 to that someone, and you think, that's too much in this economy, you send 25 instead? Bagam, partial obedience. Have you been told to pray 1 hour for that friend, and you pray 30 minutes and stop because I cannot come and kill myself? After all, Jesus said it's not by the length of our prayer or the loudness of our prayer. Bagam, partial obedience. Have you been led to say a kind word to a stranger, but for fear of rebuttal, you just smiled at them instead? You didn't say the word. Bagam, partial obedience. Have you been asked to reach out to a particular person for help with a business, and because you have no rapport with that person, you chose to reach out to another in what you think is the same category, but with whom you have a relationship with? Bagam, partial obedience. The list is endless, guys. In all these examples, you are like Moses, striking the rock instead of speaking to it. And while the immediate results may come and it may look to you like what you want, the consequences could be very dire. Okay, I've done 2.5 chapters, but I want to read another one from, was it from chapter 5? Because people are beginning to think that this book is like I'm not reading again. No. I begin to think that this book is No, I wanted to give you one story. I won't read it. I'll just tell you the story. The story I want to tell you is from the book. I mean, it's a as you can see, it's a very valuable book. But I wanted to give you something from the book, and these are things that, like, I said that you need to know the why of a thing if you want to overcome it, right? Good. So there's a whole chapter here, number 4, that says what has stopped you from executing. Here we list common barriers, because I have taught this a number of times. I mean, I've been teaching how to overcome procrastination, how to work, how to achieve goals and all of that for over 5 years now. I've had a number of students here and there, and I have been teaching it. So what I have gathered over the years that there is the same things that people complain about, and in this chapter I list out those things. I tell you what they are. I break them down for you, and we get into another chapter that now tells you how to overcome them one after the other. Like it's so you will find the one that disturbs you, and if you don't find it, please send me a message. Right? Send me a message. If you don't find it in the book, send me a message, and I will give you a special class. Yeah, I have imposter syndrome. I have perfectionism. I have analysis paralysis. I have procrastination. My baby here asks what procrastination is. It's here in chapter 4. I have lack of consistency. I have fear. Fear is so broad, but we are tempted to do something about it. There's a quote here that says, a good plan violently executed now is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. Guys, you have to do something. You cannot hold on to say, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it later, or I don't have enough information, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't know this, I don't know that. You know why this book is called Just Started? The famous Nike quote is just do it. And you know how people have talked so much about doing it afraid, because many people don't do it because they're afraid. And I say, don't even do, just start. Because many people don't do because they say that they lack clarity, okay? But guess what? Clarity is not missing. Clarity comes in the doing. So when you make that first step, you will see the next one, and then the next, and then the next, and then the vision becomes clearer in the doing. It becomes clearer in the doing. You have to start. When you move, the universe moves with you. It's not a flux. It happens. There's sometimes I've said I wanted to pay for something. For example, I'm like, I just don't have the money. I can't afford it. I don't have it. And I spoke to a coach the other day. He said, money responds to projects. Right? Why you don't have the money today is because you don't have what you want to do. You have what you need for yourself today. Right? That's what you need. But the minute you set up and say, okay, I want to go and start building this house, or I want to go and start working towards this relocation, I want to start working towards that next degree, you start to put together 1,000, 2,000, you will find that extra money starts to flow to you from different places, because once you move, the universe moves with you. Your brain starts to wire itself towards making the thing work. I had a target at work. It was an almost impossible target. They 4x'd my target from the previous year. As I saw the number, I was heartbroken. I argued with my managers that I couldn't take that target, and he said, do whatever you have to do to make it work. So I started trying to make it impossible. I said, I need to hire a whole team. I need to do that. They said, go and bring your proposal. And I realized that they were serious. So I knew that I had to do it. There was no backing out. What did I do? I first spent the first 1 month writing the number. I wrote the number, my target number, by my bedside. As I wake up, I saw it. Anytime I wake up, I see it. It was part of my morning declarations. I will sell this number of XYZ square meter of land in this year 2024. I recited it every day. I woke up, I saw it. I mentioned it to my team. I told them, you're going to sleep this number, you're going to eat this number, you're going to drink this number, and we will make it work. We had no idea what we wanted to do. I told my manager that if I had XYZ parameters, I can make the sale. Those things were out of our hands. The things that I needed were not in my control. It wasn't a thing that they would give me money and I'll be able to achieve. It was things that were in government powers, and it was almost impossible to control it. So it was looking to me like this target was not possible. But I have a God to whom nothing is impossible. So I gave him the number. Ladies, It is not even half year. Okay, it's half year now. And we've done the number. We've hit the target. It was 4x my last year's target. Guess what happened? All those things I said were outside our control, that were in the hands of the government to do, the government did. Like, how? Who makes that happen? When you move, the universe moves with you. When you start, things happen. If I had sat down with that target and said, hey, they have finished me. How am I going to do it? I cannot do it. It is not possible. Last year that I had a quarter of this, I was struggling. Now I have 4x. It's all over. Somebody wants to sack me. They should just sack me. It's not even, if they don't want to pay me, they should just sack me. There's no point. I can't do it. If I had sat down, or I was feeling sorry for myself, I would have demotivated my team. Right? I mean, I told the team, I said, we're doing this number. Everybody, go and dream the number. Go and think about ways to do it. And then we put it out there. And you know how I tell women especially that, you know, your energy is the energy of your home, it's the energy of your family. If you are coming and crying, what hope are you giving to your children? Do you see? So while I was there as the manager of the team, I couldn't tell them, this is an impossible target. What's wrong with this management? They want to kill us. They should just sack us now. They don't want us to do the work. They should tell us not to do the work. You know, I would have, if I'd gone with that, I would have demotivated the entire team and we would not have been able to do it. But I said to them, I said, challenge accepted. I went to my God. I said, you will not disgrace me, Father. If you want me to leave this job, you can get me a better one, Abby. I'm not afraid. But I will not be disgraced out of this job. So I will do it. But this number that he gave me is in your hand. I literally gave him the number and I started to move. I started to make my calls. I started to do what I needed to do, just on our own small way. And before you know it, the things that we wanted to be in place came in place. And people started to come by themselves. Do you see? When you move, the universe moves with you. That's why the only message I'm giving you this remaining half year is just started. Did you want to write a book? Draw up an outline today. Did you want to start a business? Go to Google and ask what to start with. Did you want to, you know, set up something? Write an exam. Go online now and figure out what is the first step for that exam. Where do I get the registration from? What do I need? When are the exams written? What day, what time of the year? How long do I have to plan? What do I need? Start it. Do you want to travel abroad? Go and find out what you need. Google what is the visa requirements. What are the legitimate ways to go? How much do I need? You know? And then that could be your first step. Sometimes all you need is just how. What is the first thing I can do? Because when the vision is, when the goal is big, it looks daunting. It looks like I can never achieve this, right? But when you know the first step, just go and Google. Go and ask AI. In the middle of your WhatsApp chat, at Meta AI, how can I do X, Y, Z? And it gives you a breakdown. You say, please, can you break it down further? It gives you. I asked Meta AI for something the other day about something in America. It gave me a breakdown. I said, how can I do this? I live in Nigeria. It gave me people that do the same thing here in Nigeria. It gave me links. Hey, God. In the middle of my WhatsApp chat, at Meta AI. Or you want to go to ChatGPT, go and ask it the question, the keys and the prompts. If you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. You see? So the first step, because once you put one foot first, then the next, then the next, then the next. By the end of the month, you see that you've gone far. You are not where you used to be. But if you don't move, you'll be exactly where you are. You know how, have you heard that statement that says you'll be exactly the same person that you are 5 years from today? But for the books that you read and the courses that you take, the things that you do that change your mind, because every success starts from the mind. This book that you will read that will change your perspective is what would be the difference between you today and the you of 5 years to come. just started. This book goes for 7,500 naira only. And for being here to the end of the live, you are going to get, what should be your discount? What should be your freebie? Your freebie is that if you pay today, not tomorrow, today before 12 midnight, you can get it for 5,000 naira. Today only, right? Today only today. I'm going to put in the what's I'm going to put, when I save this replay, I'm going to put up the what do you call it? If you send me 5,000 by tomorrow, I will return your money. Today, 12 midnight today. I have bankers that know how to reverse money. I'm not joking, right? So that's your gift for listening to the end of this call today. So tell me, it's going to be on Amazon by the end of the month. I'm working on putting on Amazon. It will be there by the end of the month. I'm also coming to the US with some copies. So if you want to get some copies, some autographed copies by me, you can get your copies as well. Then it will be on Amazon, yes, by the end of the month. And what else? Any other questions? Have any other questions? You that you have the book already. Okay, for those of you that had the book already, okay, you were there at the live reading on Sunday. Or you that had the book already, what shall be your gift? What shall be your gift? Now, wow, this life. Okay, well, let me start thinking of gift for you people. Just be writing your name down if you already have the book. Now, wow, you're proud though. We're still selling book. You're like, we don't have the book already. No problem. I will come back to you with the solution of what shall be your gift. But if you do not have, okay, another thing that you're getting, another thing you get, if you buy the book today only, okay, I'll mail your own, no problem, Annie, I got you. If you buy the book today only, you also, you know, the bonuses have ended when pre-order ended. Yes, ended on Sunday. So officially, as I'm buying the book 7.5 now, so you don't have bonus. But because I'm in a good mood, if you buy the book today at 5,000 naira only for today, oh, don't send me 5,000 tomorrow. I will return your money. I'm not joking. For today, you also get the bonuses. So you will now have to send me a message today. DM me at my Brenda Unu email, my Brenda Unu Instagram. That is brenda.unu. Send me a DM and with your email address as well as that. You pre-ordered. Excellent. You pre-ordered. You're good to go. If you pre-ordered, you need to know, how do you want to pick up your copy? How do you want to pick up? Extend to tomorrow. You are not serious. You are not serious. This gift ends today. Today, 12 midnight. If you pre-ordered, Yinka, you will have to reach out to me for picking up your copy. But if you paid for delivery, you will get. Okay? Yes, bonus is included for today only because I'm in such a good mood. July has become an amazing month. This month is just giving so many goodies for me. I'm so excited and I'm just happy to share the goodness of what God has done for me. Yes. Are there any more questions? Anybody have any questions on what we've read so far? Okay, forget bonuses. People like freebie too much. From what we have read so far, do you have any questions? Do you have anything that you wanted to share? Anything you think that, okay, we should talk about? Because, you know, even from the parts of the book that we read, if you have any questions, now is the time to ask. You can also ask to join me live if you want to show your face. Send me an invite. I put you on live with me and you can ask your question, or you can just type your question. Anybody? Any questions? I'm in a good mood. That's a story of why I'm in a car today. So I've just come out of an official training. We've been there 9 to 5:30. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 8.5 hours of training. My brain wants to burst. Let me tell you the story of that training. While I'm waiting for your questions, if you want to come on live with me, please send me an invite. If you have a question, please type it in the chat. So while I'm waiting for your questions, let me tell you what happened to me today. My chest. So I came for this training. It's a 2-day training, right? Organized by my office. And so the trainer had tried to make it interesting and said he would be asking questions throughout and we'll be getting some paper money. So whoever gets the most money at the end of the training gets a gift. And the gift was a 1 million worth of, you know, coaching, training, and all of those things. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta get it. So I started to play from the beginning. Yesterday, by the time we left, I was topping the league table. I was like, come on, I'm gonna win this thing. So today I came and I woke up early. I was like, I must get there early. I don't want anybody to remove my marks. Like, I'm winning this thing. So when we got there today, there was one guy there that was close to me. He said, Brenda, I'm going to overthrow you. Everything he would do to overthrow me. Okay, Chinoye, who wants? Chinoye, I can see you're asking a request to be in my live video. Is that a mistake or is that intentional? I want to know if you really want to be in the live video to ask me a question, because I see that you actually just joined. So please let me know. Just type yes and then I'll open it. So people of God, today we now started new set of questions. The first one, I don't even know what happened, and I made a mistake. The guy was like, hey, he has passed Brenda. I said, the God that I said is not sleeping. There was not another team game, and somehow, hey, the guy now passed me again. I was like, hey, Father Lord, you have to help me. So we shall continue. So we're dragging ourselves. We're literally like very close to each other and all of that. And then the last game of the day at 5 p.m. People of God, me and this guy were dragging for first and second. There was that one game that we did. The coach now said, anybody that gets right answer, 5 marks. Yeah, since we'll be getting one mark for everything we've been doing, this one came 5 marks. As in, he asked for five things. I struggled and managed to get maybe 23 points. The boy got 21 points, something like that, Sha. Then this girl got 45 points. People of God, that is how this girl came from behind and overthrew the two of us. So she won the day. At the end of the day, she carried the day. She got 100 points in total. This guy got 98 points in total, and I got 91 points in total. That was how me that was leading the table yesterday did not win today. She pussy. My heart is broke, but I move. We move. I mean, it was a very serious lesson for me, and just know that, you know, it's never over until it's over. You have to just keep working, keep at it, you know, keep doing your best. And this girl just quietly from back, when they were announcing the score, she just said 45. People said, even the trainer had to say, please send her script, I want to vet it. Excuse me, did you use Expo? We said, it was 45. When I was getting 23, I was feeling like quite the G. Somebody got 30, I was feeling like a star. It's like 45. All of us just were like, I said, you guys, the game is over. They said, no, she cannot be doing that. I said, the game is over. I have been watching her since morning. That's how the girl won everything. Everything. I was happy for her. I even videoed her collecting her prize, because what can I do? I cannot come and cry. Thank you, my people. I've moved on. But it was a very, very strong lesson for me today. As in, I'm going to pray about it. But yeah, so thank you guys for hanging out with me. I cannot see any questions and nobody wants to join me live. So when I'll be saving this replay, if you're watching the replay, and the bonus extends to you as well, you can get a copy of this book, Just Started, which is already live in print and available for immediate pickup for just 5,000 naira for today only. I'll be putting the account details in. No, that's not how I'm going to do it. You're going to send me a DM, right? I'm going to put in the account details. Okay, no. Here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to put the account details in the comments, right? And then when you pay, you're going to send me a DM to either my Brenda Unu or this Women's Growth Academy DM. Send it to me, because I'll be checking the time of the payments. When you send it to me your email address, so that I can also give you the bonuses, because today only you get the bonuses as well, because I'm in a good mood and because Women's Matters is important to me. Today, the 16th of July only, and I'm not talking of American 16th of July, Nigeria 16th of July. So by 11:59 WAT, the bonuses are off. Don't come and tell me that you're sending from America. I don't want to know. Nigerian time. Thank you very much. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about my book. I know it is going to change your lives, and I'm so excited to share this with you. Please spread the message, spread the love, and grab your copy now. Somebody should do me a screenshot. Do a screenshot of this picture while I'm showing you the book. Who can do that for me, please? Do me a screenshot. Thank you. Do a screenshot from your phone and send it to me so that I can use it. God bless you. I'm so excited. Thank you very much. I love you. My program, Women's Matters, was brought to you live by Women's Growth Academy. Where thank you very much, Denike. Where we are simply a community of women who love God and who grow every day in we're working towards our growth in the love of God and in our own lives to find the thing that God has created us for and to excel at that thing. You see that everything that I talk about and I teach is about, just being what God has placed you on earth to do. It's I didn't tell you that part. The chapter 9 of this book, so there's a part of this book, chapter 8 and 9 is very big on self-awareness. Okay, very, very big on self-awareness. This is developing the mindset for constant execution. You need to know yourself. So the first thing about it is to know yourself. And here we're teaching you, the exercise in this part, exercise 7, is huge. Look at how many pages of the exercise. It's a deep dive. You're going to be thinking about your life, answering questions. By the time you are done, you too know that Jesus is Lord. Are you seeing it? This is exercise 7. This is exercise 7. It's a deep dive into finding who you are, finding your personality, right? When you find your personality, you can now work with your personality. So because I realized that I'm a sanguine, right? And as a sanguine, I'm easily excited. So I'm able to quickly do stuff, right? Now, also because I'm a sanguine, I get quickly bored. I'm always on to the next exciting thing. So the act of staying to finish something had to be intentional. I had to know that I do not have that strength. So I had to work it, build that skill. That's why I'm able to finish and execute stuff. Do you see? If I did not know this about myself, I'll find that I'm just starting things everywhere and not finishing any and not understand why. But knowing myself, right? Self-awareness and knowing what my strengths are and what my weaknesses are and the things that could possibly threaten the good that I want to do, I could now work at it. So that is part of what this book is. So don't think that all this my Bible I've been reading since morning. You say, this girl, are you not a preacher? Why are you giving us preaching? It's a foundation, okay? That whole part is the foundation for what you're really going to learn. You need to understand, because the Bible gives us universal principles of life. So that's why I started with all those Bible talk. Don't be offended. Please just persist. There's a lot more that you need to know. There's a delightful thing called ikigai. There's a delightful thing called is teaching how to will find your purpose. We'll break it down for you. Guys, when you think Diary of a Former Lazy Girl was good, when you read this book, you send me money. I promise you. You ask for my account and send me extra money. And I'm not joking. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. If you have any questions, you can send to my DM. If you want to buy the book, like I said, if you live in the UK or in the US, copies are coming to you this summer. Also, it will be on Amazon by the end of the month, God willing, and we will be able to buy your copy there. So, but the autographed copies will come to you from Lagos. I'm going to be sending them over to the UK and the US for this summer, because I'm sure we have many people that are traveling, and you can always get your copies and it will be shipped to you. Don't worry, you're not paying shipping from Nigeria to the UK. I'm taking it there and sending it to you. But when it's in the UK, you can get it shipped to your house. When it's in the US, you can get it shipped to you. That's what we're going to be doing. Autograph copies, because of you, are my favorite readers. I love you guys so much, and I absolutely have to go now. Goodbye. God bless. See you next Tuesday. We'll be having some conversation. I will have a guest next Tuesday, and we'll have a deep dive conversation on something that you don't want to miss. Take care. Till then, good night.